Today's video. This is a B1 level reading lesson. We're going to be working on reading comprehension, talking about a diary written by a World War I British soldier, and then testing what you can remember or understand from that reading. All right, so what was happening in the world in 1917? Well, there was the Russian Revolution, and there was building up to war in Europe. So what do you know about World War I? You can take a few moments to look at these pictures, see if you recognize anything. Okay, so this is the picture of the Archduke Ferdinand was shot. He was assassinated, and that was sort of the event that kicked off World War One. World War One was fought using trench warfare, so these deep holes were dug, and the soldiers stayed behind there and shot from the trenches. World War One was really the first war in which airplanes were used as bombers. It's an example of a World War One helmet. This is an enlistment poster. And poppies. It's a symbol of remembering the war. There's a famous poem talking about Flanders Field, and then a World War I tank. All right, so now we're going to read this article, and you can pause the video and read on your own, or you can follow along as I read. In France, Belgium, and other parts of Europe, soldiers dug trenches for protection. The trenches were cold and wet, and many soldiers died from their injuries or from disease. There were about 650 kilometers of trenches. Sometimes soldiers were very close to their enemies, but they couldn't see each other because everyone was in their trenches. And often nothing happened for hours, and the soldiers got very bored. Vocabulary words for the next section. A captain is a military officer. A mouse, the plural is mice, a very small animal which sometimes lives inside houses. Soil, the material in which plants grow. And grime is another word for dirt. This is an extract from the diary of Captain Harold Arnold, a British soldier who fought in the north of France during World War I. Today is cold and dark. Last night there was a terrible storm. It rained down upon us for hours, filling the trenches with water. I am tired of life in the trenches. We are like mice, always hidden under the ground. The trenches are dirty, and they smell bad, and the smell bad. And of course, when it rains, the water turns the soil to mud. I am covered in mud and grime. I cannot remember the last time I had a hot shower. Right? An enemy is the opposite of a friend. Gunfire, the sound of guns. To explode is to break into thousands of pieces. A machine gun is a weapon that can shoot many bullets quickly. What is worse than the mud and cold is the noise. Above the trenches is a place called no man's land. Every day, people go over the top of the trenches to fight the enemy, and that's when the noise starts. Gunfire. Sometimes it is so loud that my head feels like it is going to explode. I put my hands over my ears, but it doesn't stop the noise. The rat-a-tat of machine guns goes on and on. Even when I sleep, I'm sure I can hear gunfire in my head. And sometimes when my fellow soldiers go over the top to attack the enemy, they don't come back. Young men like me who are shot and killed. Okay, to sign up is to join the Army. A major is an Army officer, and headquarters, the main office. Most of us have been here for months and months. Some of us have been here for so long that we have forgotten why we are fighting. All I can remember is that the war started so long ago. I signed up with my other friends. We wanted to protect our country. Today I received a message from the major at headquarters. Tomorrow we are going over the top at 0500. I must tell my men to go to sleep early tonight. Tomorrow morning, before the sun rises and while it is still freezing cold, we will climb out of the trenches and into no man's land, shooting at an enemy that we cannot see. All right, so now see if you can answer these questions, true or false. So you can pause the video, try that on your own, and then restart when you're ready to see the answers. Okay, there was water and mud in many of the trenches. That is true. Captain Arnold thought that the worst part of the trenches was the bad smell. That was false. He said what's worse than the mud and cold is the noise. The soldiers usually could not see the enemy. That's true. And the soldiers had a hot shower every 3 days. That was false. And then this is a war memorial. So why do people build memorials? Well, it's to remember the people who died and the sacrifices that they made. So what do you think no man's land meant? Well, it was the area between the trenches, and if you were in the no man's land out of the trenches, there was a very good chance that you would be shot. And what do you think was the worst part of life in the trenches? It's kind of just an opinion question. I would think it would be very difficult to sleep, and being crowded close together, the dirt. I don't think there really is any part of it that would be good. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.